Yes, guys, everything bite-sized here. Today I'm going to let ChatGPT interview me so you guys can get to know me a bit better and we can form some sort of parasocial relationship. So I'm going to get it to ask me some normal questions, then I'm going to get it to ask me some really personal questions. Let's have a look at these questions. If you could live in any historical period, which one would you choose and why? I would probably choose the times of the Romans, because Romans were pretty cool in a lot of ways. They were sort of like the equivalent of the British Empire. Rome was very interesting because you could they had slaves, but you could work up the ranks and like earn your freedom and then become a noble, renowned, special person. You could be black, you could get to a big position. I think Hannibal was black, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, yeah, so they were inclusive. Obviously they did a lot of brutal stuff, but like the British Empire did. But yeah, no, I'd like to live there. That would be very, very interesting in the times of the Romans. Okay, next question. What's a book or movie that profoundly changed the way you see the world? Wow, 1984 by George Orwell. That absolutely made me turn around and look at the state of the world and where we're heading. And it doesn't look very good. It's almost like a forecast. That's what 1984 feels like. It's like a premonition. A lot of the stuff that's happening in real life is very similar to the stuff that happens in 1984. Like, we're sort of turning into a dictatorship, like a global dictatorship. I don't want to get too deep in it, but I really do actually believe that we're going to have a 1984 type situation. I really do believe that. I think there's going to be a one world government. There'll be some rogue states that don't want to submit, and there'll be war and stuff like that. But essentially, I think there's going to be either East versus West, or something that encompasses them both. Anyway, that was weird how I went off on that tangent after that question. If you could instantly master any skill or talent, what would it be? Oh, okay, by the way, when I say things like master or master, because I'm from down south and I grew up there, I used to say master. But now, because I've been living up in the Midlands, which is way north of where I'm from, but not actually the north of the UK, but it may as well be compared to where I'm from. People say like grass, bath, glass, rather than grass, bath, glass. So I'm sort of in the transition period where I'm switching between glass and glass. So if I say it differently, like, you know what it is. Anyway, enough rambling. So if you could instantly master any skill or talent, what would it be? I would say guitar. I'm pretty good at guitar, but I would love to be a lot better. I've been picking up and playing guitars since I was about 11 years old. I remember going to my cousin's when I was 9 or 10, and he's an excellent musician. And he obviously taught me the dun 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 dun, smoke on the water, yeah. It's a bit of my crappy beatboxing. So yeah, oh yeah, beatboxing would be a cool talent to manage. Let me try it again. Anyway, so what's the most adventurous thing you've ever done? Oh wow, I've got bipolar and I've done loads of manic, crazy stuff. What's the most adventurous thing I've ever done? Oh man, there's so many things. I remember trying to climb this cliff, because I'm from a seaside town. There's these cliffs, and this is where we used to go and get wrecked, because the police rarely go up there, because it's such a massive hill to get up there, and a load of stairs. So we used to get wrecked there, and also we used to do it because if you sit on the rocks, the police, because of health and safety, they're not supposed to climb the rocks. So you can sit on the rocks smoking a bong, and the police can't really do anything about it. And we used to love that, and we used to that's pretty adventurous, I suppose. But yeah, my whole life has been adventurous. My whole life's been an adventure. We used to climb and find different areas of this cliff, And one time I was climbing very dodgily on a vertical platform, and the wind blew me and I nearly fell, and if I would have fell I would have been seriously injured. Then there was another time where I was climbing another smaller cliff that's nearish to the other one, but closer to the sea, and I was climbing up and I was wondering how the flipping hell did my mates get up there, because I could not get up there, and I was trying and I was climbing, and suddenly this flipping Chinook helicopter just went like right past, and it scared the crap out of me, and I nearly fell. What other adventurous stuff I've done? This isn't funny, but it shows how bad I used to be. I stole a car, and I'll read out the charges that I got. Let me try and remember the charges that I got. So I crashed this. Thank God I didn't crash into anyone. I was only young, so I was stupid. I crashed into a parked car, literally just feet away from where I was trying to get the car back to my friend, because I stole his car when he was flipped like out of his head, and I was literally just crashed. I crashed just on the corner that was feet away from his house, and I basically, what happened was I was on cocaine, alcohol, ecstasy, loads of weed, booze. I was effed, mate. Like, that's why the other two guys passed out, because we literally had been on it for ages, and I was still raring to go, I think because of my mania, because the drugs trigger mania. So I went and I took his keys. I went and got in his car. I know how to drive in theory, but in practice I don't have practice. So I turned the engine on. I kept trying to move. It was parked tightly between two other cars, and I was trying my hardest to successfully get out of this parking spot. But the thing is, I forgot the handbrake was on, and I'm pretty sure the car went forward a little bit and bumped into the other car, and I didn't realise, but there was a geezer who was asleep in this car, and he come out, he was like, "What are you doing, blah 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 blah," and he was like, "Have you even got a license?" And then he goes, "I'll call the police, and then he sped off, so that gave me space. I realised the handbrake was on, and that gave me space to go forward and get out of that parking spot. So I get out of the parking spot. I'm driving very clumsily and haphazardly around, but I am driving. I'm managing to drive, but just very badly. I get to the last corner where my mates is, where I was going to park his car. And oh my gosh, I was going too fast, but I didn't realise I was going too fast, and then the corner come up, and instead of thinking, I'll carry on and I'll turn around and do it sensibly, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna take a chance and rally it, and I did like a Scandinavian flick. You move the steering wheel a little bit so I had to turn right, so I get there, it's like, whoa, shit, it's come up really quick, and then just a reaction, I just went right a little bit, then fully left, because if you do that, if you kick it out, you go the opposite direction and fully swing it to where you want to go, you kick out the back end. I don't know about front end cars if that's what works, but anyway, like, you kick out the back end. I went straight into a Renault Laguna, ripped that off. That made me accidentally put my foot on the accelerator more. Boom! The side of the car smashed into a Mini Cooper, ripped that off, and I ripped the car off that I was in. And the police, he must have actually called the police, because they were there very quickly before I could get into my mate's flat. They would have caught me through DNA and fingerprints anyway, because they've got me on that a few years after I stole a moped. They got me on fingerprints and DNA. I just put my hands up. I didn't try and run. I just went to the station. There was a lot of charges. I'll probably forget some because there was that many. There was theft of a motor vehicle. There was taking without owner's consent. There was drunk driving, drug driving, driving dangerously, criminal damage, no insurance, no tax, no license, and I think there was like a couple more, I don't know, but that's like 9 or 10 charges at least. That's the worst trouble I've ever been in with the police. How did I get to that from? It's a adventurous thing, adventurous thing that I've ever done. yeah, so that was probably the most adventurous thing I've ever done is driving that car. I say driving with air quotes. If you could have dinner with any 3 people, living or dead, who would they be and why? Okay, that's a very interesting question. One of the people, straight up, Jordan Peterson. That's 1 out of 3. Probably Joe Rogan. He seems like a pretty cool dude. He's pretty intelligent. He listens. He's got good insights. So Jordan Peterson, Joe Rogan, and Elon Musk. The thing is like, I really admire all 3 of them. Obviously, Jordan Peterson and Elon Musk are a bit more intelligent than Joe Rogan, but Joe Rogan is not stupid at all. He's got a lot of intelligence. It's just they're more well-read, and that would be such a cool situation and scenario, going to a restaurant with those 3 guys. Imagine the conversations that would occur with those guys. That would be amazing. So yeah, Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, and Jordan Peterson. Okay, the next question. What's a hobby or interest you've always wanted to pursue but haven't had the chance to yet? So I've always wanted to learn how to code, yeah, but my brain just doesn't work that way. I'm really good at conceptual design and writing and creative stuff like that and making videos, etc. But when it comes to like, I think there's people who are more logical and other people who are more creative. I think it's the more logical people that are good at stuff like coding. So I've always wanted to code, but yeah, no, I've never been able to do it. I also want to go to Australia, but never been able to do it. When I was about to say if, but no, it's when my YouTube channel blows up and I get the money and I get a passport, I am going to go to Australia. Like, I can't wait. Like, I might even move there if I really like it. What's a hobby or interest you've always wanted? Yeah, so yeah, what other hobbies or interests have I wanted to pursue? Oh, survivalism, bushcraft. If you don't know, bushcraft is just making things out of natural materials. Okay, let's flip this up. I'm gonna switch that question up and say, if I could be on a desert island with any 3 people, living or dead, who would they be and why? One would be Ray Mears, because he knows a lot of really cool and handy tips and tricks for how to survive. The other would be Bear Grylls, obviously, because he's insane. Like he is so crazy. Like also he's Christian, so I could have some interesting conversations with him. So yeah, on a trapped on desert island, Bear Grylls, Ray Mears, and if he was still alive, flipping hell, what's his name? That Australian geezer. Oh, I feel really bad not knowing his name. What was his name? Oh, come on. You know the guy I'm talking about though. Oh, flipping hell, it's really pissing me off that I can't remember his name. Steve Irwin, I think. Let me look. Let me have a look. I think it's Steve Irwin. Yeah, because he knows what he's doing as well. And he's not scared. He's as crazy as Bear Grylls. Well, he was, bless him. He died, didn't he? Is it Steve Irwin? Yeah, Steve Irwin. So yeah, that would be very interesting. Right, let's go to the next question, shall we? Right, so the next question is, if you could travel anywhere in the world right now, where would you go and what would you do? So I would go to Australia and I would just soak up the culture and the environment. It'd be interesting being in the southern hemisphere rather than the northern hemisphere, because if you didn't know, if you're in the southern hemisphere like Australia is, and I think a lot of Asia is, I'm wrong on that, sorry, I'm sure I'm wrong on that, but Australia and New Zealand, they're in the southern hemisphere, so it actually gets hotter up north and colder down south. So it's a bit confusing, but yeah, no, I would go to Australia for sure. What's the most memorable dream you've ever had? Let me think. It was a dream where I was getting assaulted. Let's put it that way. And it was very, very real, and I felt everything, and it went on for what felt like an eternity. Yeah, and there's another one where I was tripping my nuts off. It was like I was on acid. And I was stuck in this really horrific bad trip, which is crazy that I can hallucinate in my dreams, but it makes sense. Okay, next question. If you could change one thing about the world, what would it be? Okay, so all this social justice warrior nonsense, yeah, and this far left nonsense, also the far right nonsense, I would get rid of all this BS, yeah. I would like people to be more cordial and understanding and debate things without turning it into a flame war. I think I'd just like everyone's attitude on the earth to be a bit more humble, a bit more forgiving, a bit more empathetic, a bit more, like understanding. That's the thing I would change about the world. What's a unique or quirky fact about yourself that most people don't know? Okay, so one thing that I do, which I don't think other people do, but I just see it as normal. So anyone in my life, I can put a picture of them in my head and ask them advice, and if I know them well, I can guess what their advice is going to be. So I ask them in my head, because I've built up an avatar, like an image. I can see them talk, how they would talk. I can see what they would say, kind of like how they would say it in their voice. I have these people in my head so that when I'm going crazy, I can get advice from them, even if I can't get in touch with them. Believe it or not, that actually helps bring me back to earth and bring me back to reality sometimes. So I build up avatars of people I know in my head, and I can hear how they speak and what sort of things they would say. And I'm usually bang on when I get the same advice from them when I do speak to them. So that is something that most people don't do and most people don't know about. So you've been locked into everything bite-sized. I'm going to make more videos like this. Check out my music videos, check out my shorts, check out my mental health videos, check out my film reviews, check out my everything. I've got all sorts of stuff, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.